Ever wondered how a 13 megapixel smartphone like the Samsung Galaxy S4 compares against a 12 megapixel flagship prosumer camera? Well, we've got the S4 and the Samsung EX2F and are comparing the two for you. In good lighting and with a red phone box as the subject, both phone and camera deliver strong shots. The Samsung EX2F has a wider angle than the Galaxy S4. This means it records more information in the shot, more bikes and more buildings in the background. The Samsung EX2F shot is also less saturated. While saturation's generally good, it isn't always real, and in the Galaxy S4 it's clever post-processing that makes a picture a little bit more consumer friendly, whereas the EX2F picture is more true to life. Our second outdoor shot tested the two with reflective visibility strips and deep UPS browns. The Samsung EX2F has undeniably pulled a better shot out of the bag, with its more accurate oranges, better dynamic range and altogether more on-point exposure. Still, performance from the S4 is very impressive. When you think about it, this is a phone after all. Taking cameras indoors while looking outdoors is a great way to test their ability to deal with high contrast scenes. The Galaxy S4 exposes the shot that little bit more than the EX2F, pulling out some additional detail in the brickwork. That said, it also blows out the window. The EX2F in contrast gives you more balance. It's considerably crisper as well, with a combination of optical image stabilization and the f1.4 lens, killing handshake and shortening the shutter speed. Pointing both cameras up at the sky for another high contrast test and it becomes clear. You would need to turn exposure right up or flip HDR mode on the Galaxy S4 to capture the kind of coloration in the leaves found in the EX2F picture. While good in isolation, therefore, the Galaxy S4 just can't compete in full auto mode when the contrast goes through the roof. Moving on to macro or close-up shooting, and the EX2F focuses closer than the Galaxy S4. Exposure is also a little more accurate on the EX2F, though with its f2.2 lens, the Galaxy S4 has managed to pull a nice amount of background blur. Impressive all round, the EX2F edges ahead once again. Moving close up, and now that we're indoors with Hans, the dog, and we can tell Hans looks lovely and saturated through the eyes of the Galaxy S4, he immediately pops with a nice amount of texture on his fur. The reality is this though, Hans the dog is brown, he's not orange. The EX2F has therefore delivered the more realistic shot, complete with an incredibly shallow depth of field and a pin-sharp focus area. Now, while the S4 has been able to hold its own thus far, when the lights go down, so does the S4, producing a grainy shot with very little discernible detail. On the flip side, check out that Samsung EX2F. It's a stunning low-light performer, especially considering the dim conditions and the fact this is a handheld shot. So all you Galaxy S4 owners, you're probably bummed out now, but don't be. Low light isn't out of your reach. The flash on the Galaxy S4 is better than any other non-Xenon smartphone. It competes with the Samsung EX2F, illuminating the space almost as evenly, pulling legible lettering from the lock. Once again, pretty incredible for a phone. In almost all light conditions, therefore, the Samsung Galaxy S4 can pull a great shot out of the bag. Sure, its flashless low-light performance is pretty dire, but with a flash it is very, very good. Can it compete with a dedicated advanced compact camera across the board? No, it can't. Not in terms of image quality and especially not at night. But it does make for a great supplement when you don't happen to have a prosumer compact to hand.